The St. Augustine Lighthouse has the distinction of being the first of its kind established in Florida by the new territorial American government. John Adams and his lot had just downright bought Florida out from Spanish grasp, and the general idea was to commence a reconstruction and remodeling project that would, in essence, make the locals warm up to their new overlords. The official lighthouse was constructed over an earlier watchtower built and operated by the Spaniards. The waters around Florida were a maze of commercial and seafaring trade routes. This not only attracted investors, but a lot of pirates and privateers. When Sir Francis Drake attacked St. Augustine, one of the first things the Spanish did after he sacked the colony was implement various beacons and watchtowers along the coast in order to prevent something like that ever happening again. One of these watchtowers was carved into the place the lighthouse now calls home. They were mostly made of coquina taken from a nearby quarry on the island. In 1871, the Americans came to a realization: the lighthouse was sinking. They did extensive remodelings and reconstructed the old dam. A man named Hezekiah H. Petit was assigned the task, and he oversaw most of the construction efforts. Hezekiah H. Petit had really restless children. I mean, by today's standards, they would no doubt be labeled as hyperactive. Anyway, Petit constantly brought his kids to work and let them play around the construction site. Big mistake. On July 10, 1873, the kids were playing on a cart, jumping and riding around in it. The cart toppled, with the kids inside, and crashed into the nearby coast. Back then, the surf reached the lighthouse. The two eldest Petit children, Eliza and Mary, drowned. There was a third African-American kid, but some newspaper reports failed to mention her. According to operators and the staff of the place, the playful ghost of these children still inhabits the lighthouse. Workers will often discover previously bolted doors from the night before hanging wide open the next day. They often tell tales of the racket of children's laughter in the middle of the night. Music boxes sold in the gift shop will mysteriously pop open and start playing all by themselves. Tour guides report increased incidences of being touched or seized by shades while showing visitors around. Meanwhile, visitors to the lighthouse describe catching flashes of a young girl dressed in old era clothing gazing out from the lighthouse door or standing by the upstairs window. The ghost of this young lady is rather pleasant and rarely interacts with visitors. The same can't be said of less wholesome entities. There's a terrifying specter that haunts the lighthouse named the Man in Blue. When he appears, he makes life a living hell for the workers. One lighthouse keeper refused to go back to work because the Man in Blue harassed him for a whole night, chasing him up and down the 219 stairs of the lighthouse. Eventually, the lighthouse duty had to be handed over to the Coast Guard because of this wraith. Many think that the Man in Blue is the wandering spirit of lighthouse keeper Joseph Andrew. Andrew plummeted to his death while painting the original tower in 1859. Others, meanwhile, maintain the poltergeist is that of another lighthouse keeper. The man, heartbroken by his solitude, allegedly hanged himself in the tower and was only discovered the next night when the lighthouse failed to illuminate the coast. Visitors and staff describe the overwhelming smell of cigar smoke on the landing of the tower, despite the fact that smoking is prohibited on the grounds. At night, the current keeper constantly says he can hear boots coming up the stairs, but when he turns around, there's no one there. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below. And until next time.